Before that, we heard some rumbling that there were some questions, so.
Okay. Oh, well, I'll answer any questions anybody has.
You're recognized, Gibbons.
Thank you. In Dalton County, we have a situation right now where the mayor has made proposals to take some land eminent domain. He is trying to purchase this land for the city use. This land just sits idle. It's a kind of a Hatfield and McCoy situation where they'll sell to anybody but the city. So your bill would prohibit something like that.
It would not prohibit the city of Mobile or any government entity for, a government entity is in a county, city, state, doing a build road, economic development project. It would only prohibit those boards that are under sunset. So I don't believe that professional boards should be able to condemn property. That's the point of condemnation, is for growth, or for that, it's for growth or it's for the public use. The board of pharmacy does not, in my mind, that is not one of the powers. When we set them up, we intended really for them to say, well, you don't want to sell to us, we'll just take property. They don't need to be in the business of economic development.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Do you have any instances where this has occurred in the past?
Depending on which one you're talking about, but some of this is just I don't want it to occur, because I know that there are some authorities or agencies that have bought land and then developed the land for their own profit. So I don't want that to happen with some of these other boards.
Thank you. Any further questions? Yes, please, you're recognized.
I love your logic on this. I think it's fair and right, and I agree with you on the philosophy of boards are not the same as far as in the domain sort of thing. I was wondering, because you mentioned some specifics in there, if there's some, this is just for more curiosity than anything, if there's some historic cause for the ones that are mentioned specifics.
Well,
but I agree with you. I'm not questioning the bill. I'm just curious if there's some specifics.
The reason that these are mentioned is because they are the only ones under sunset that have eminent domain. Every other agency or board does not have eminent domain. So I asked LSA after Bill last session, I said, well, anything else that, let's trim it down, because I don't want them to even be able to buy property. But see, last year we had home builders and a few other groups, so they can buy property, but they can't condemn. And
so those do by statute?
All of these by statute have the ability to condemn.
You just taught me something. Yeah, I'm glad to know that. Thank you, sir.
So that's why I just wanted to take that statutory authority away from them.
You're recognized.
Thank you, Dr. Chair. Do we know why they were given this authority in the first place?
I don't. Some of these statutes were set up in the 60s.
But 60s, we still were a good functioning government, and somebody gave them the authority, and I'm just wondering why, and kind of why we want to take it away. If we don't have a problem, then why are we searching for a problem?
We're not searching for a problem. We're searching for we're not searching. We are.
No, I'm just saying, if we don't have any instances where this has happened, you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of like wondering, why did they have the authority in the first place, and why are we looking to take something away if they're not using it or abusing it? You know.
Well, I mean, let's say this: do you, all right, let's say you have high cholesterol and you're unhealthy. You say, well, let's wait until you have a heart attack until you start cutting back on your.
I don't think that's the same thing.
But it's the same thing. There could be a problem at some point.
Could be. So it hadn't been in since 1960.
Well, I said for some. I don't know. I mean, some of these others, when they were set up or we passed this statute, and we've had these bills come before us before to renew some of these boards, and I've seen it, and it's really just, and the way I view it is, it's a policy, and we as a state, do we want to have the policy that you as a private owner of property do not have the choice on who you sell your property to? And are we going to mandate, are we going to allow policy in this state to say, the board of pharmacy can just take your property if they so choose? They will reimburse you, but they will set the price of what they pay for it. I just don't believe that's a policy we want to say. And maybe it's not solving a problem, but it's stating to our constituents and to the state that our policy is we care about property rights and we care about the rights that you have when you buy your property.
Okay, one last question. The boards that are impacted by this decision, what have they said? Have we talked to them?
They haven't said a word to me. Last year I filed a bill again that would say you couldn't buy property. I heard from several of them and I told them I'll come back with a bill about eminent domain, and they all, no one said, oh my God, we can't live with that. Some of them were like, well, yeah, that makes sense to us. We don't even know why we were ever given that authority to begin with. So we're fine with that, because as you can see, most every other board or commission that is sunsetted, they don't have this power. So it's kind of more of an anomaly that we ever gave this power to some of these boards.
I'm just wondering why. And hopefully we can figure it out before we get on the floor.
I mean, I can't tell you, it might just be a drafting thing. And it could be that it was just drafted that way years ago. And some of these have different authorities and powers. There's really only one way to condemn in the state. Some of these have different authorities, and they have more power than the state of Alabama would have if they want to condemn property. So that, to me, just doesn't seem fair.
Welcome. Representative Moore, you're recognized.
Yes, Madam Chair, I have an amendment.
Please read it.
This would just uniform the dates. Replace line 477 on page 18 with the following. June 1st, 2025, the board may not acquire or purchase by. And replace line 604 on page 22 with the following. Commencing on June 1st, 2025, the commission may. And replace line 607 on page 22 with the following. Section 3, this act shall become effective on June.
That's a friendly amendment. Can I second the amendment?
No.
Okay.
I second
Representative Givens has seconded for you. All in favor of adopting the amendment?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
All right, the ayes have it. Now I'm sure you'd like to move.
Yeah, any other questions? I'll make the motion for a favorable report.
Somebody else will make the motion for a favorable report. Representative Lawrence has made the motion for a favorable report as amended.
Second.
I'm gonna give Mac Butler the second. I hadn't heard from him today, so all in favor? Any opposed? Your bill is a favorable report.
Thank you.
Representative Bracy has abstained.
From both of the votes, sir?
From this final.
The final, okay.
All righty. Does anybody have any other business to bring before the committee for the good of the state of Alabama? We're adjourned.